All right, we're good to go. This is the idea share for, gosh, it's June 2025. My name is Beth from Key Ministry, and I just want to welcome our friends here today. We've got some new faces, some returning, some regulars. So this is just a chance for us to connect, share what's going on, give encouragement, get encouragement. So would anybody like to kick us off? Yes, yay, Julie. I was looking at you. I didn't know if you could tell that. What's up?
So, yesterday I had a wonderful experience with our adults with disabilities at our church. So, probably about 10 years ago, we started a parent support group, and I started to get to know the parents of some of these guys. And there was really not a whole lot for them back then. They were trying to figure out what to do. And so, part of the thing that I got to watch is put something in place and watch it grow. And so yesterday I had the wonderful opportunity to visit the class and be there for a little while. And we've done things like World Help events, and Tom and Amy and I always go to those. And so we get to see them from time to time. And I kind of oversee, making sure that their leaders are cared for. And that's part of my job at our church. But I don't always get to sit in the class. And so yesterday was so delightful because I got to see the culmination of the last 10 years and what has happened and how the class has grown, how the relationships with each other have really solidified. They are family. They squabble like family and they love like family. It's really fun to watch them. And there was one young man who, well, he's young to me, but he was on vacation, and he texted one of the friends in the class and said, "Tell everybody I'm on vacation and I'm not there, and I miss you all, and can I call the class and talk to everybody?" And so, of course, the leader was like, "Well, that's not going to quite work out so well, but we're happy to hear from you, David, and we are excited when you come back next week." So, but I mean, this is his family. He is on vacation with his family, but he's
Mhm.
missing his friends. And that's the community that has been developed, and watching them grow spiritually. I mean, the leader, I hear Ryan Wolf in my ear, how he always says, talk to adults like they're adults because they're adults. And that's exactly what this teacher did. And I know there were some words in there that some of the people in there were like, I don't have a clue, but they were keyed in on his teaching and they were contributing. And I'm going to get emotional, but it was the most beautiful thing ever just to watch the culmination of those 10 years. So I guess the message I want to give is start and then watch what God does. Don't don't get overwhelmed by the starting process because that's the hardest part, right? And then just persevere. It's beautiful.
Julie, that was like the most perfect thing to kick us off today. I know I'm like a little verklempt here. So start and just watch what God does. So I love this for so many reasons. First of all, sometimes we don't get to see the fruit necessarily. And I know everybody is like so committed and working hard and doing these things, but we don't always get to see, how lives are being changed and just everything. I mean, the fact that, um, like these groups, it's not just community, like they're a family now. But you also said how they're growing in their faith and in their spiritual journey. That was, I feel like, okay, we're done. That was we can be done with this idea share because I don't know about you all, but that was so encouraging to me. Thank you, Julie. Thank you for the work that you've done and that you're doing, and thanks for encouraging all of us with this particular story.
Well,
That's
Key
very
Ministry, as you all, everybody that's on this call probably could say the same thing that I'm about to say. Key Ministry is instrumental in really keeping this drive going because we just keep coming back and getting filled up, and then we go off and we do our thing, right? So thank you, Beth, and for the team at Key Ministry because I think that God is using you mightily.
well, thank you. I mean, it's all of you. So thank you. Yes, Al, what is up?
Yeah, I agree with what Julie says. Yeah, I got to see it 3 years ago, actually, that class, and it's amazing, that group. Um, it was good seeing a lot of you at the conference last month. And yeah, I connected with a group called Special Hope Network.
Mhm.
They work in Zambia, and I'm in the process of looking, and I was invited to help with their Night to Shine on July 28th. So I'm probably heading to Southern Africa, which I never expected to be doing, but that conference was part of that, broadening the network of what we're doing. And so, yeah, like Julie's saying, the key ministry is crucial in keeping us connected and all that. I got to meet Joel, who's not showing his face yet, as well at that conference. I know some of you already, and Justin, I think I met too. But yeah, I just appreciate this group so much and excited to connect more internationally. Has some stuff going, but now probably in Southern Africa too.
That's amazing. So I always love hearing from Al. I mean, for many reasons, and he's an encourager as well, but he is everywhere. And I love that he's not only seen Julie's class, but now he's going to, I mean, that's just, it's amazing. And yeah, so thank you for sharing, Al. I always love hearing from you. Thank you. Yes, Barb.
I'm here, Al. I'm just driving.
Okay.
I know you're there.
All right, Barb, what is up? And hello, Joel.
Okay, so we just went to Canada last weekend. So that was our big news. Is it was our first conference we did that was just regular kids ministry conference, not a disability conference or a Nazarene conference. And it was in Canada, and it was really interesting coming the month before, going to disability in the church conference and then going to the general kids conference. It was really eye-opening as to, I think I learned, even though I talk to people that are not in disability ministry a lot, like just the difference in where people are starting from it was a good reminder of the importance of the work we do and how it's okay to keep starting back basic, because a lot of people, that's what they need to hear. It was just a lot to process. The whole thing was different. And like Allie, I'm sure you would appreciate, the culture was different. Even though it was close to America, it was totally different. So I feel like I probably took a lot home from that conference.
And so Barb is with Wonderful Works Ministry, in case there's anybody new who doesn't know her yet. So so that's great that you have kind of a new audience, because you're right. I mean, children's ministry, KidMin people, I mean, everything that we do applies to them. I mean, and you know, when especially when we think of like disability, the whole range of disabilities, KidMin leaders need to be aware, because they're experiencing all types of disabilities in their classrooms, whether they know it or not. So that's great that you were able to get into a new audience.
I have a question for you, Beth, because you've been to a lot of the KidMin conferences in America. So I don't know, like the differences I saw, if that was because of the different culture or if it was because it was KidMin, not disability, but we saw a lot of an understanding of, you have your typical class and then you have a special needs class, and there was nothing in between a lot. And so and so we talked a lot about universal design and like how you can incorporate all these things into all your stuff. And I felt like that was a pretty new concept. And so I didn't know if that was just going to different places or if that was just children's ministry, not disability ministry in general.
My guess would be maybe that has a little bit to do with like geography, like where you were. But for sure, like that's kind of the topic that I speak on for the most part, kind of at the KidMin conferences. And I mean, there's always like a lot of aha moments going on. So even though maybe they're a little more familiar with it, there's always like an eagerness to learn more. So cool. Great. Thank you. All right. Linda has her hand up, and then we'll get to you, Julie.
Excuse me. The church that I go to now has asked me to help them with the way their disability ministry works is their children are primarily what I would call mainstreamed, because there's a lot of Down syndrome children. So they're in regular classes up to middle school. They're developing a thing for young adults, 16 and up, of like a Bible study fellowship. But the Bible study isn't as long as their traditional Bible study for young adults, because these are kids with disabilities, and they've asked me to come along and work with them. So this is very exciting. There are going to be some other adults with disabilities coming and working. I've also talked to them, maybe do a mentorship program where you have kind of a buddy thing, have like a kid about the same age, try and make sure they're solid, walk along with them. But it's very exciting what they're doing, because it just keeps everybody kind of together that can be together. You know, it is a little bit different than most. They don't have an access, they have stuff for parent support, but they don't really have a separate access program, because they just haven't, I guess, with the population. It's not a large church, but it's not a small church. It's in Springfield, so it's a good size for that area. But you can get to know people very well. I find being at a large church too overwhelming now, personally. But so that's exciting, and I'm going to the Theology and Disability Conference in Denver.
Yep.
I talked with Tom, came to Disability in the Church, and he wants me to actually bring different stuff, which was, I was just going to participate in a way that I was just going to ingest what they were doing. But now it's a little bit different. So my sister's coming with me so she can have some rest time from being with my mom. Because she came home, it's been very stressful. We're trying to find help, but money's tight. So it's like, I've been trying to find, I'm like, Lynette, your church should help you with this. There's people in PT that live near you, why can't they come over? Because the kids can help her, but my sister doesn't want everything on the kids, which I can understand, they're young adults. But other than that, my mom is back home finally, and I am still recovering from ear infections, so that's real fun.
Oh, still, wow. I know, because you had an ear
I'm
infection.
getting new hearing aids.
Good.
Yes.
All right. Well, that's a great update. I'm glad. I'm glad your ears are getting better. I know that was definitely an issue for you in April. That's fantastic that you're going to the institute.
Yeah, the institute.
And I'm glad that I love hearing connections that are made at the Disability in the Church conference. And so I'm glad you got to connect with Tom and do that. All right, you've got a lot of hands up. So I'm going to go. So Julie had her hand up, and then Ella, and then, well, let's see. And then, oh gosh, we have so many hands up. Okay. Wait, I lost. Okay, let's go with Julie, then Ella, and then I see two more hands.
Okay, I'll be quick. First of all, Linda, I want to tell you how appreciative we are that you can speak into things that others of us cannot. And so thank you for doing what you do and encouraging all of us to know, what is it really like on the inside, And so I appreciate you for all of that. And thank you for loving on us at Disability in the Church. We just appreciate so much what you did. But I wanted to just make a quick comment about what Barb said about going back to the basics when we're talking to people, because we know where we are and from where we've come, and but we do Awana conferences every year, and we have seen that we go to Disability in the Church where it's the cream of the crop, right? And then we go to these Awana conferences and we're like, oh wait, they don't know this, they don't even know this part. They don't know that these kids that are behavior problems may have all these other things going on. And how are you going to love them? And you don't even need to know what the root of the problem is. You just need to know how to love them. So I just wanted to encourage everybody that what Barb said about going back to the basics is so important. It's like the gospel, isn't it? I mean, we have to keep going back to the basics.
Totally agree. Thank you for reiterating that. And I also want to second what you said, encouraging Linda. Also, for those of you who have seen the amazing photos from Disability in the Church, we can thank Linda for most of those. So thank you. All right, Ella.
There we go. I'm actually hoping sometime I can go to Disability in the Church. I'm in Michigan, so it's a bit far. I don't know if you guys will ever consider having it somewhere a little more north. That would be awesome. But my whole thing, because I watched some of the YouTube
Mhm.
streams of the speakers and all of that, and I am specifically like a Christian apologetics ministry. And so when I'm listening to a lot of these speeches, I'm thinking, great, we need the inclusion. Absolutely. What's next? How do we adapt the apologetics? How do we adapt that, understanding and defense of what we believe? Because, and to be fair, I don't think we do enough of that for anybody, right? Disabled or not. It's kind of just become a much more mainstream thing to have good answers, apologetics answers. But I'm, hoping to see maybe adapted apologetics in some way or another.
That's a good challenge for any of our writers out here. I love that idea. So we'll have to brainstorm some resources there.
You could follow me on my social media for some.
All right, there you go. Thank you. All right, I think Jesslyn had her hand up first, I think.
Hi. I just want to say this year was my first time at Disability in the Ministry Conference, and it was just a beautiful, beautiful thing. I walked away from there and I came back home, and I just haven't stopped talking about it really with my church and with my community and people that I've been working with. It was just such an experience, from the worship to hearing everybody, hearing the experts in their field. And I walked away and I prayed with Al at the very last session. And I just walked away with my cup just like overflowing and full. And I was so excited to get back home to implement the things that I learned, and with what we're trying to do here in our community. So thank you so much. And thank you for having me have the opportunity to speak too. It was really a beautiful, beautiful conference. And I look forward now to going every year and seeing you all again. And I just wanted to say it was just a joy to be there and to meet many people. So thank you.
Well, thank you. Thank you. The feeling is mutual, so thank you. All right. I can't see who for the first name, but Pretmar 82.
Yeah, sorry. My name is actually Marlene, and I'm tuning in from the UK.
Great,
So,
welcome.
I want to reiterate that, saying very big thanks for the conference and for actually putting the videos online, because it's not possible for everybody to get to America to attend those conferences, although I would love to. But I've recently I'm a special needs teacher, and I've recently been asked by one of our fellowship churches to come and do some training for the children's ministry leaders on how to work with children, because they've got more and more and more children with higher than average rate of number of children with autism there. So I started looking around for things in the UK and couldn't really find anything. And I came across you guys and Johnny and Friends, and it's just been such a valuable resource. And somebody else was talking earlier about cultural differences and things. I think you always have to bear in mind the cultural context. Sure. So it's just been so helpful, because I think most of the resources and the things that you guys talk about, it's the first time I'm tuning in, but I've actually been listening, always catching up on YouTube. But it's just been so valuable, and it just needs somebody who knows and understand UK context to take that and to just kind of help translate it for people here and put it into context with the culture here. So again, it's been wonderful. Thank you.
Well, good. Thank you. I'm glad we got connected, and yes, thank goodness for YouTube, right? We can watch the recordings of different things. That's wonderful. And we look forward to continuing to hear from you on these roundtables and hopefully in person one of these days.
Absolutely.
All right, Skeeter, what is up?
Very good. Okay. 3 quick things. One, somebody said something about the Nazarene Church. And
That's Barb. Yep.
I want to give a shout out. The Nazarene Church here in Greenville, South Carolina, has been extremely helpful with real estate. Young Life Capernaum meets there most every Tuesday night. Thank you. Let's see. The word for the day is collaboration. We have just, it has been amazing. Thrive Upstate is a county group, has group homes, they don't call them workshops anymore, but every other week they come and play tennis with us. It's been wonderful. A hospital in Anderson, about 30 miles away, had a group of folks who were all involved with traumatic brain injuries. And we've gone in there and developed some real friendships. 2 of those friends now are a part of the teaching team from one or more locations. But I don't know what I'm going to do with this one. But life-wise, I'm at least in the 4th quarter, if not overtime. I'm 80, and ministry is different. Young Life is in my background, and there was a day when full court basketball in Colorado, the 2nd day, was not unheard of. I don't do that anymore. So ministry is changing. And it just crossed my mind. I have permission from my church. They have a studio where videos can be taken. I'm looking for friends who are at least 70 and who have been involved in ministry in their past. And I want to ask them and record their answers to what was life like growing up? When did they come to Christ? What was ministry like when their body was not failing them? I meet with, it used to be 5 guys, and we've been meeting on Fridays for about 35 years. And the only way you can get out is die, and 2 folks have. So I'm the middle-aged one. One fellow's 82, one's 78. And I know them fairly well, and I want them to say, this is what life was like. This is how I came to Christ. This was ministry when my body was able to support what I wanted to do ministry-wise. Okay, now, do I quit? Or is there something that God might have for me as I march toward heaven? I'm not good at that kind of stuff. I will ask the questions. I'm just hopeful that folks in my church can edit the results so that they come out meaningful to other. I'm looking at an awful lot of folks who think they have aged out.
I love that you're doing this project, Skeeter, and what an important reminder that, through it, like we always have something to contribute, and it might look different at different ages or stages of our life. But what a cool thing to capture that from some other people too. And I'm sure your church can do the editing. And I can't wait to see the results of this project. So thanks for giving us the sneak peek. Keep us posted. All right, Linda.
Okay, well, thank you
I'm just looking for folks over 70.
Okay.
thank you for the comments on photography. I don't think a lot of people know that I have a Master's of Fine Arts from Private Art College, and my final thesis project, which I actually posted on Facebook recently, deals with mental health issues. I took refrigerator doors, had a frame made for it, and looks like it's filled with medicine bottles. Which it was a photo project, but I didn't have to do photography. But I'm starting to do fine art again. My work has been all over the US, and I'm doing a project about over medication.
Hmm.
And I'm trying to figure it out. I have two projects in my mind. One's about over medication because it's a problem in our country. And the second one is about the children that were murdered in the Holocaust in the Vienna hospital. There were about 800, and I have all their names. And I'm trying to figure out how to make a project because I'm really an artist. I do this other stuff on the side. So, but if you go to my personal Facebook page, you will see I don't have that project anymore. I also did a project on cutting where I took 3,000 razor blades and filled a plexiglass box to the atomical measurements of my arm. I don't have that project anymore either because it rusted. I should have sealed it. And Home Depot doesn't ask you why you're buying 3,000 razor blades at one time. And me and my friend peeled all the cardboard off and we put them in a photo tray. And somebody came into the room and they were like, "Is this real?" And I'm like, "Yeah, you really shouldn't do that." But it was kind of a joke. And then it became a project. But I have photos of it and I wrote about cutting, and that photo of razor blades is actually from that project. But just because I do photography doesn't mean everything I do is photography. I like installation based because I have an architect background. So
Yeah, Linda has more talents. I mean, like she has languages and
I don't sleep much.
yeah, she's a very, very interesting person, and I encourage you to get to know her better. Yes, and you can check out Abnormal Missionary, and a whole lot of bunk photography to get an idea of some of the things that Linda is up to.
Okay. And on Facebook, it does have my thesis about what this project was about. But I didn't know you could buy medicine bottles either. So you just find out what
Things you learn.
So, but thank you.
Thank you for sharing. Don, you have your hand up. Welcome.
Well, good morning from California.
Good morning.
Yeah, so still morning here, and just grateful to be here. This is my first time here as well.
Welcome.
I finished 36 years in Youth for Christ last June, all from a wheelchair. I have muscular dystrophy. I finished from our national office as a vice president, and I began to really notice a gap in youth ministry for making really youth ministry disability inclusive for kids and leaders, youth pastors, youth workers that also have disabilities. And so we founded a new ministry called Access Youth Ministry to work on those two objectives, to connect kids and families with disabilities into existing youth ministries, as well as supporting, encouraging, coaching youth workers who they themselves are under-resourced because of their own disability as well. So I'm here to listen. I'm here to glean from all of your experiences, but also really want to just offer my support and help wherever I can.
Well, I am really excited to hear this, Don. I agree, and I can see Barb shaking her head too, nodding her head. There is a huge gap there. So if someone could throw the website in the chat, we will definitely link the website when we post the recording. So Access Youth Ministry. I'm not good at throwing, thank you. So, yeah, we'll definitely check that out, because I think many of us, who are part of either like a Sunday morning experience or, consulting with churches, a lot of times, the children's ministry and disability, like that's working pretty well, but then there's almost like just a
Nothing.
cliff sometimes. It just, and there's a lot that are doing adult disability ministry well, but sometimes that group in the middle struggles. So we're always looking for more resources. Thank you. And Linda has shared a link in there if you'd like to check out some of her work. So thank you.
Yeah, one question I
Yeah.
have, and I'd be interested in any kind of research around people with disabilities and their connection to the church, people with disabilities and their journey in their faith, and their own, discipleship journey. And if it's not there, one of the projects that we're wanting to help, move forward and either work with Fuller Youth Institute or others is just that. Kids with disabilities and their families and their connection to the church. Is there any research out there that anybody knows about?
Yeah, so as soon as I hear research, of course, the first thing I think of is Baylor University Center for, is it Faith and Development? I hope I got that right. And they have done several very large research studies with published materials. If anybody could look up the link and wants to throw it in there, I will for sure post the link to these studies when we post this recording. I can't like look it up while I'm talking. I'm not, I can't multitask that well, but there are definitely like national studies that have been publicized or published. So I do encourage you, thank you. So that's, Julia just posted the link for Dr. Eric Carter, and you should be able to get to some of the published studies, hopefully from that. Yes, excellent. So, Don, I encourage you to check that out. One of the last two Disability in the Church conferences, we've featured Dr. Eric Carter and Baylor University. To show some of the work that's going on, the research. It helps all of us to have this research. And at this year's conference, he actually presented an update from last year's conference. So, and yes, Al mentions they do have free downloads. Thank you. And Julia shared the resources. I love the teamwork, people. Thank you. So yes, so you can download the free resources from there. I just want to point out a couple other things in the chat. And again, we'll get all of these links posted with the recording, but Jesslyn shared the link to their ministry, which is helping women who live with bipolar disorder. And she posted that link, and Don posted a link as well to his website. So we are getting all kinds of awesome resources today. Thank you. All right, anybody else? I think we've had some good discussion here today. A lot of good resources to share. Let's see. Coming up later this month, so on the third Wednesday, so my colleague Lara Roberts is going to be leading the Disability Ministry video or virtual roundtable this month, and the topic is going to be on like using technology in disability ministry. I don't think I got the title right, but that's basically what it's going to be. So again, our virtual roundtables are open to everybody. If you're not currently getting the link sent to each month, go ahead and go to keyministry.org and click on events to register. We've got another link here. So Ella is a disapologist on Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, and YouTube. So you can find her there. We will get this posted on the Key Ministry YouTube and Vimeo platforms, along with all the links. And so I just thank you all today. Thanks for the encouragement, the resources, and I look forward to seeing you on another roundtable soon. Thanks, everybody.